All right, and it is 9 o'clock on the dot. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Tea with Doug G. If you don't know already, my name is Doug Gooden, and tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I am joined by the incredible, the incomparable Miss Amara Ede. Amara, hello, how are you? Why don't you take just a little bit of time, introduce yourself, tell the folks who you are, what you're about, all that jazz.
Hello, I'm Amara, and I am friends with Doug, and I'm a sign language interpreter. I'm a UGA alum, and also the CEO and co-founder of Hands In, which is an educational nonprofit that is based in the Atlanta slash Athens area, and we do accessible theater type stuff. So definitely check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the things. And yeah, all of our shows are in sign language, and we make stuff that's like specifically accessible to the deaf community, but it's also in English, so hearing people can enjoy too. So we're all about promoting accessibility in the arts in whatever form that may come.
Yes, absolutely. If you haven't already, please check out Hands In. They're a phenomenal group. They aren't where Amara and I met, but it's certainly where I think our friendship kind of grew and came
Oh,
into its own.
definitely, definitely.
And hey, for the record, without Hands In, there would be no Some Jerks Who Talk About Movies. There would be no Tea with Doug G. There would be no
We fully
Fighter
credit
Media
for
now.
all the offshoots of people who met at our shows and went on to do amazing things way cooler than we could have done. But
Yes, absolutely. And real quick, just kind of one little bit of housekeeping that I kind of want to address before we get too far into it. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a very exciting announcement tonight that you'll be able to access tomorrow. But I am happy to announce that Viter Media, we have just purchased and we've just gotten in our first line of merch. So one of the first things we have is we have Tea with Doug G buttons. I don't know if the camera's focusing in on it very well, but we do have Tea with Doug G buttons, and hopefully tomorrow those will be going up for sale, and you can pick those up off of the Viter Media Facebook page. And then, for those of you who are especially big fans of the show formerly known as Some Jerks Who Talk About Movies, we have a very limited run of Some Jerks Who Talk About Movies buttons. Both of these are going to start being for sale, hopefully tomorrow, if not sometime later on this week. But yeah, guys, it's been really exciting getting to get those buttons in. And yeah, all right. So that's my huge shameless plug. Amara, let's get into it. Okay.
let's do it. I'm excited. Those buttons look great. I definitely want
Yes.
one.
Yes. We will definitely get some to you. So first question, friend of the show, from Viter Media, Tankersley. Ben asks, what is your favorite thing to get out of a vending machine?
Okay, so I was thinking about this, and I think it's those. I don't even know what the brand is. Those like grandma cookies. You know what I'm talking
I
about?
think
They're
they
like
might actually be called. I think they might actually be called Grandma's cookies.
those. They're soft. You
Yeah,
usually only find them in vending machines. A1, delicious, chef's kiss. Whoever,
definitely.
whose ever grandma that is, she knows what she's doing with cookies.
Yeah, definitely. I think Grandma's cookies are a great choice. I think I feel like this is kind of a little bit of a basic choice for vending machines, but if you can find them, I love to get Sour Punch straws
Mm.
out of a vending machine. I'm a big fan of it. So yeah, that's got to be my go-to.
Sour punch straws are delicious.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, Ben, great question. Great thing to get us started off with tonight. Amara, I know you have some questions, so why don't you hit me with a question?
Okay, so recently in news, you're an Avatar: The Last Airbender fan.
I am. I am. You can't
I'm
really see it, but I do have a massive poster of Aang
oh,
right
I
back
just
here in my
did
room.
pointed out that is what that is. So I'm sure you've seen the devastating news that the creators
Yes.
out of the Netflix remakes. Thoughts?
Um, so it's kind of a double-edged sword. Part of it is, I am really disappointed because did we not learn anything from M. Night Shyamalan? Like, give these people like with their property. I mean, is their property, is their baby. Like, they know the ins and out of the Avatar universe better than anyone. So the fact that they are leaving makes me feel very, very devoid of hope for the Netflix series. I will say, however, that we were kind of getting to a point where they kept prolonging the release date more and more. So I think it hit me less just because I had kind of started to lose hope in the series to begin with.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, your take on it?
I mean, I'm obviously disappointed. I'm not like an OG Avatar fan. I didn't watch it really when I was younger on its first release. I actually just watched it for the first time when it came out on Netflix, and then I've been going through The Legend of Korra recently. I'm still not fully done with that, but I think it's like a really good series, and I think that, I mean, one of the points of contention was like casting, and I just was really hopeful for this to be like an opportunity for a lot of people of color
Yeah,
to have a chance to accurately represent themselves and their culture.
yeah,
And like, that's my biggest worry, is that there's going to be a lot of whitewashing, and I'm loving the memes. I think they're hilarious, but it's also, I think that's like our way of bracing ourselves for impact of what the casting might actually look like, and hopefully we're not all as disappointed as Scarlett Johansson as every character.
first trailer comes out.
Hopefully they do
First,
a little bit better than that. But I mean, I feel like the bar is on the floor at this point.
first trailer comes out. Scarlett Johansson, Tilda Swinton, all of the two of them are the entire show. Like, that's the entire cast.
So
Yeah, they got very experimental with it. But yeah, great question, Amara. So a friend of the show, a mutual friend of ours, Mr. Brandon Revis. Brandon asked this question last week, and I've tweaked it just a little bit. So, Kiss, Marry, Kill, Usnavi from Into the Heights, Sweeney Todd from Sweeney Todd, and let's go Phantom of the Opera. Kiss,
okay,
Marry, Kill.
I don't know who Usnavi is. I've never seen In the Heights.
He's
Is he
Lynn's
played
character. He's Lynn's
by?
character.
He's whose character?
He's Lynn's character. So
Can
Lin-Manuel
we
Miranda.
switch it so that it's whoever Anthony Ramos's character is? Because Mary all day, every day.
Well, Anthony Ramos is playing Usnavi in the film version.
Yes, that
Yes.
Mary. For the rest of my life, every day, definitely. Who are the other two? Phantom.
Phantom and Sweeney.
Kill Sweeney, kiss the Phantom.
I'm going to agree with you on the Usnavi thing because A, Anthony Ramos, B, Lin-Manuel Miranda, original cast.
Yes,
So,
both of them wonderful.
I mean, you win both ways.
Yeah.
Secondly, I am going to disagree with you because I think I really just can't stand the Phantom of the Opera, like, at all. So I am going to have to kill him, sadly, RIP. So I am going to have to kill him. Although, I will gladly kiss Sweeney Todd because I feel like, he knows how to show people a good time, until he slits their throat.
For me, it came down to, I've never seen them live, movie version, Johnny Depp, Gerard
Yeah, that's
Butler.
fair.
Gerard Butler, though, like...
But, like, you aren't talking, like, 300 Gerard Butler. You're talking scarred, like, obsessed with a girl from the time she was, like, 8 Gerard Butler.
Yeah. It's a little creepy, but I don't know. I'm into it.
Yeah, but But yeah, great question last week, Brandon. I like the question, so that's why we
But yes,
kind of
Anthony
revamped it.
Ramos all day, every day.
Yes.
If you
Uh,
have not seen it, go watch his music video for Mind Over Matter. It's
okay.
him, it's Jasmine Stephen Jones. It's a great video.
Very nice. Very
A
nice.
great song. He is an amazing artist and a beautiful person
Oh
inside.
yeah, Anthony Ramos is like top tier. Top tier.
And I love their love. They're so cute together. They're so cute together.
Yes. Okay. Well, Mara, I'm gonna throw it back to you. So why don't you hit me with a question?
Well, in since we're like discussing the theater,
Hmm.
um, right now, obviously the political climate is a little questionable.
Dicey, to say the least.
Yes, dicey to say the least. And it's also coinciding with a weird time because of the pandemic. Broadway is shut down. And
Hmm.
like, I mean, I feel like throughout time, Broadway has had this like responsibility for being like the charge of social change. So I'm just curious, what do you think the landscape of Broadway is going to look like when they come back in light of everything that's going on in 2020, 2020, I think is definitely changing Broadway. So what do we think that's going to look like whenever it does come back?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question. I I think one of the disheartening things for fans of theater is that Broadway has said it's going to be at least I think a year before they open back up. I think last I heard was 2022
Wow.
uh, was when they were thinking about opening back up. However, something that has been sticking with me is because Broadway and theater in general has been such like you said, the driving force for social change. I can see them coming out of this. You have a year to 2 years to really kind of zero in on what kind of stories you want to tell, what kind of messages you want to tell.
Yeah.
So I think coming out of the pandemic, coming back into a revamped, revitalized theater landscape, I think that we're going to see a lot more representation all across the board.
Yeah.
Uh, I think we're going to see obviously a lot more representation in the performers on stage, but I hope we also can see a lot more representation behind the scenes work. Stories written by someone other than just a bunch of random white dudes. And I think since they are taking this time to kind of respect the situation that we're in, I think there's no doubt in my mind that they're going to come back and they're going to hit the ground running with new stories that can touch an entirely new generation of people, because this whole event is something that defines a generation. And
Yeah.
I think that's what we're going to see once Broadway does come back, once theater does come back. And I think it's also been great because you've seen a lot of theater communities come up and say, hey, we recognize the fact that in the past we may have said, like, as our mission statement, as our tagline, we want to tell all kinds of stories. We want to be a diverse theater space. But you've seen a lot of theater groups come up and say, we said that, but we didn't really practice it. And
Right.
I think you're going to see a lot of people who put it into practice coming out of it. I hope you do anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely feel like we as theater people, we as artists have like an obligation or responsibility to do that. And so I agree. I think that I'm hopeful that a lot of people are taking this time to create new art and tell new stories so that when they have the space to do that again, they can, and they're ready and they have things and there's more diversity in like you said, in the casting and the storytellers, like who like there's room at the table for everyone to be telling their stories and connecting to their audiences. And so I'm hopeful that we see a lot of that coming out of it. And at the beginning of quarantine, we saw like a big shift. It's like as soon as everything shut down, there was a little bit of a shift where people were not as quiet about what they had been experiencing in their
Yeah.
theaters. They were really calling them out and being like you said, you say you stand for this, but we don't see it. We don't see the diversity that you claim to love represented in the cast or even in the stories that you tell. So I think that hopefully actors are going to be demanding more from the theater groups that they're involved in, and that everyone's going to, I don't know, kind of just respect the space that this social climate needs to blossom. And sometimes that will mean like actors not accepting roles that they're offered because it's not like their story to tell.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm
Absolutely.
hopeful, just like you. I'm hopeful. I do think that in general, Broadway has done a really good job of being able to do that. So I just look forward to seeing what 2022, what art is going to look like in that way. And not just Broadway. I think all of Hollywood too has that responsibility.
Yeah.
Like it is an artist collectively thing, not just live shows. And so the good thing is that Hollywood kind of has opportunity to start now because a lot of shows, movies, or whatever are picking back up production
Hmm.
sooner. So hopefully we'll see that in the coming months, year, two
Yeah.
years, whenever theater's a thing. Remember
Whenever
theater?
whenever things start to kind of pick up again, back before COVID. Uh, but yeah, great question. I absolutely love that question. Um, so so yeah, so I just lost the question I was going to ask. So I have a question here from again mutual friend of ours,
We
friend
have
of
a lot of mutual friends, it looks like.
in case you haven't picked up on it yet, the people who I can get for this show are generally my friends. Um, and the people who usually send in questions are also my friends.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Abby Walls, she asked this. I know, a queen, right? An
We
absolute
love Abby.
queen. Yes, we love Abby.
A
So
princess. She's a princess. She is like a literal Disney princess.
yes, she is. Okay, so Abby asked this. What's something that you would like to do in 2021 because nobody can handle 2020 anymore?
I mean, the list is endless because everything. I want to
Yeah,
travel. I want to go to live theater, live shows, concerts, like all all the things that involve other people. I want to start doing those again.
yeah.
I'm getting bored of my room. So,
Yeah, I completely understand that. I think if I just had to pick one thing I want to do, uh, it is along the lines of travel, but I just want to travel to some random middle of nowhere town, and I want to find some really weird, really cheesy roadside attraction
mm.
that I can go up to and take tons of pictures with a bunch of different people around
So
just for the sake of doing it.
I've never been to Bonnaroo.
Hmm.
No, sorry, not Bonnaroo. Burning Man, the one in the
Yeah. Yeah.
and it has literally never in my life appealed to me to go to Burning Man. Why would I want to go be in the middle of the desert camping with a bunch of people who aren't showering? But like, if Burning Man could happen right now, I would go. Like, just to
Just,
be around other people,
if nothing else, just to have something to actually
just
do.
to talk to people. And I think like the point of it is to just like get really in tune with nature and like commune with other people and just like build a community. And we're so like starved of that, deprived of that. I would go to Burning Man.
I
But
would love.
don't hold me to that in 2021 if it happens and I've gotten to do other things beforehand. No promise.
Now that is something I could see on a T-shirt. 2020 made me want to go to Burning Man. Oh man, that's great stuff. Yeah, I'm not there yet. Uh, maybe Coachella. Maybe.
Oh, I would totally do Coach. I would maybe do Coachella on like a normal day if I could do the glam side of it.
Okay. Okay. So like you would go all out.
I would go all out. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely.
I mean, I would expect nothing
I
less.
don't think I would do like camping. People camp at Coachella, right? Yeah, not for me. But like a hotel.
Yeah, like nice hotel.
Nice
Hey,
nice
hey,
hotel.
I mean, you and our mutual friend, Chris Carpenter, are y'all are now roommates. I mean, I think you and Chris, just hanging out in an awesome hotel, going to Coachella. I mean, that just makes perfect sense in my mind
It
for y'all.
does. It does.
Yeah,
Chris, if you're listening, book it. Don't book it, please, because I know that you will.
yeah,
But
yeah.
hesitating, and then I'll get a Venmo request later that I cannot afford. Don't do it.
Very nice. But yeah, Abby, great question. Love it. So Amar, I'm gonna throw it back over to you. What you got for me?
So, I just moved and I'm in a new apartment, and we decided that we really wanted to have a smart house. So we have Alexas in every room. Well, she's listening, and we also have Google, or I have a Google Home. What are your thoughts on the smart homes? Do we feel like they're evil? They're always listening? Is it government conspiracy? Like, are you a conspiracy theorist?
So as far as conspiracy theories go, in case you didn't catch that, Chris confirmed he
No,
did book
no,
it.
Chris.
So yeah, so I have my own Echo here. Okay, when I first got it, I'm not okay. I enjoy conspiracy theories purely for entertainment. Uh, but uh, but with smart homes and smart technology, I was very concerned when I first got it. Uh, because uh, because I was like, I don't actually know that I want something that's constantly listening to me, something that will just activate at one word's notice and do
Mm.
whatever I want to. Although I've slowly become more accustomed to it.
It's
Uh,
it's scary. It's like it tricks you into it. It's like at first you're like, "Oh, I just need it for the lights." And then you find it doing a lot more things than you ever planned on it doing.
you sent me this question, and I genuinely had this moment of, oh wait, I I've become completely desensitized to the fact that my Amazon Echo is constantly listening to me. I
I
become
I
Go
personally
ahead.
never thought about it, but I was like, we started with one just like in the living room and like the common area. And then Amazon was running a deal where you could get one for $1 if you got Amazon Music. And I was like, should I get one? And my sister was like, you already have so many smart devices listening to you all the time. Do you really need one in your bedroom? And I was like, I guess not. But then I bought it anyway because it was like a great deal. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's
Hey, a
all the
dollar. It's a
insidiousness of
dollar.
it. It's evil. Mm.
Yeah.
I don't
I yeah, I think it is a little dangerous, just in the sense that, we just kind of leave them on and we do become desensitized to them.
Yeah,
Like you just forget about them. It just becomes a part of your everyday life.
it is a little scary,
Yeah.
but also like I mean, like I one time thought about pancakes and went to type on my phone and like the word suggestion was pancakes. So like we're too far gone anyway.
Hmm.
The Alexa is just like icing on the cake. Siri has been doing this for years, and we let her. So
Yeah, accurate, accurate. Um, my mom brings up a good point, that your phone, can sometimes know where you're actually going to go before you even get into the
I
car.
had to delete Apple Maps because Apple Maps would like every time I got out of the car, it'd be like, "Here's where you parked your car," and I was like, excuse me, nobody told you to keep track of where I left my car." No, no, sir. So I had to delete Apple Maps. I'm using Google Maps now. Not that that's any better, but
Yeah, accurate. Um, yeah, smart technology is a very tricky subject, very thin ice to walk on.
ooh,
But it's what we live in.
it's the way of life.
Yeah, to say la vie. Okay, so I have a question here from the other co-founder of Hands In. I didn't want to say our mutual friend, even though she's totally our mutual friend.
Though she is a
Uh,
mutual, yes.
Miss Haley Vaughn. Does she go by just Haley Vaughn or Haley Beach
I
Vaughn?
call her Haley Beach Vaughn because Yas Beach.
She's in my phone as Haley Beach Vaughn, but you know. Okay, so Haley asked, "What is the song that you belt in the car alone, but not with other people?"
So here's the thing is I have no shame.
Mm-hmm.
So there are no songs that I belt by myself but don't belt in front of other people. I will belt anything all the time, everywhere, voice cracks, everything, because I have no pretenses of being a singer. I just
Mm-hmm.
started taking voice lessons with our mutual friend Jordan Ritchie. And they're not going well, you know, or she's doing wonderful. I'm not, but it's fun and it's learning a new skill.
Yeah.
So these days I'm belting everything. We were doing When You're Good to Mama from Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Great song to belt.
Quality song.
Quality song. Also, I love belting everything from Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
Satisfied all day, every day. We love Renee.
I
Renee is a goddess, and
Yeah.
I could never hope to. Yeah, she's amazing. But I pretend in my car. I put on
Yeah.
cards for my stereo or my steering wheel and also my shower head. And also anyone who's around because I can't stop. Also, I am very bad about signing and driving and
Mm-hmm.
almost wrecking my car constantly.
Yeah. It's a constant struggle.
It is.
Um, I, on the other hand, am very self conscious about what I sing in the car. Uh, Partly because I know that there is a certain point where my voice will break, and I don't like to hit that point
And
around other people.
gotta embrace it.
Yeah, but then there's also this sneaking suspicion that I don't actually know all the words. Don't Stop Believing. There are about 3 or 4 words in there that I will never actually get right. Um,
I
because,
will
go
fully
ahead.
out the Spanish verse in Cardi B's "I Like It Like That." I don't know Spanish.
Yeah.
I'm still singing along. We're having a good time, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Words
Um,
are irrelevant. It's all about the mood. It's vibes.
yes, yes, girl, yes. I think if I had to, I can't pick just one song, so I'm gonna pick an artist who I belt all the time, uh, who kills me because Brian Darcy James will start singing and he'll be singing like nice kind of medium to low baritone. I gotta stretch just a bit, but I can hit most. And then he'll hit his power notes, and they'll be high baritone to low tenor. And I'll sing, and my voice will crack, and real talk. I'll usually shout an obscenity at Brian Darcy James. Um, but uh,
That's
but
how
yeah,
I
no,
feel.
I can only
Sorry, go
go
ahead.
ahead. Well, I mean, that's why Brian Darcy James and Michael Arden, although Michael Arden does sing tenor, I just blissfully ignore it uh, until I hit those high notes that there's no chance on earth I can hit, and I will sing them alone in my car with no one else.
That's how I feel about Ben Platt and singing anything from Dear Evan Hansen. It's like,
Hmm.
should I go up the octave? No, way too high. Should I sing with him? No, way too low. There's not a comfortable place to sing these songs. So it's just going to sound bad, and we just embrace that it's bad.
Well, what really sucks is so uh, so 1 year ago now, I guess, I had the incredible opportunity to work with Windshape Camps. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. Loved working camp. One of the downsides of camp was I completely lost my falsetto, so I cannot go into a falsetto at all. Now my bass notes are still great, which I am naturally a bass singer,
Love to see
but but I cannot hit anything falsetto like I used to. If I stayed in falsetto the entire time, I could get about half of words fail from Dear Evan Hansen. Now there's no chance.
You
It's
just gotta like warm it back up, just like get back to it.
Yeah. I need to figure out how to get back into it. But yeah, great question, Haley.
No,
Um,
Good question. Haley always with the good questions.
Haley has got some quality questions, which is why I got worried because it was getting to be like 8:51 and she hadn't sent me anything. And she had
That
texted me frantically. She was like, "Have y'all started yet?" And I said, "No, come on, give them to me."
was a good one. That was a good
Yeah,
last question.
yeah. She's actually going to be on in a couple of weeks. So
I'll
yeah.
be tuning in. I'll send some questions. I'll return the favor.
Yes, very much so. All right, well, Amara, I'm going to throw it back to you real quick. We'll get a couple more questions in, and then we'll call it a night. But why don't you hit me with a question?
Well, here's a big one.
Okay.
Cultural phenom, TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's different and really funny. Haley's cat has diarrhea, so that's why it took her a while to get the questions in. That's really funny. Okay, back to TikTok. How do
Yeah.
you feel like TikTok is changing the landscape of social media? And what are your thoughts on the potential banning of this app? Are you a TikToker? Do you
I am
create, ingest?
I am not a TikToker. I've been told multiple times that I should be.
You should be.
I know, I
You
know.
should be.
The problem is I've seen I I have a fairly I can't think of a better way to say this. I have a fairly addictive personality. If
Mm,
I find like one thing that just kind of gets my attention, I will focus solely on it. That's why me trying to binge watch TV shows is never a good idea because I have zero problem staying up until 5 a.m. to watch new episodes,
right.
going to sleep, and then getting up like 2 hours later and keep watching.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, so like that's why it doesn't work for me. And I've had too many friends who've been like, yeah, I just stayed up until like 3 a.m. watching TikToks. And I just do that scrolling through Instagram. So I'm like, it will be worse. However, I think TikTok it's really been amazing in the way that people can like get out get out and create things. Like, I mean, I've seen a bunch of people who usually are kind of reserved and don't want to kind of put themselves out there. They get on TikTok, do a dance video, and it's amazing, and they're really into it. And I think that's amazing. Um, I think I think to a certain extent, I think that there is some validity to, you know, I don't necessarily agree with 100% banning it
Mm,
because I think to a certain point, like, so I mean, you can do what you want to with it. I do understand the
mhm.
concern that uh, that people are constantly being monitored, and like your information is being taken up. I understand that side of it.
Right.
Um, I don't know if I fully would agree with a. I don't think I would agree with an all out ban. Um, Although I could definitely see a situation where maybe you work out some new deal with the manufacturer just to kind of tighten up on security measures like that. I think is fine, but I think all out banning it just I mean if anything it's just going to make people mad.
Right. Definitely. I personally don't think banning it will work. You ban it, something else is going to pop up and take its place. But
I mean, go ahead.
I'm like I would be very sad to see TikTok go because I think more than any other social media, TikTok is like I say it's the most authentic social media because Instagram is very much about the perfection,
Mhm.
the aesthetics, and I think it has a lot to do with like the mentality of Gen Z as a whole is very a little bit morose, very self aware, very they're
Like
like
you're
not
like you're policing
norm.
yourself.
Yeah,
Like you're kind of policing yourself. You're like, I don't know how much people will actually take if I give it to them.
right. And like TikTok, you like everyone just like puts it all out there. And there was like a time in the middle of the pandemic. I mean, I was like doing a lot of TikTok. I don't like create TikToks. I made a hands in TikTok. Follow us on that. There's not a lot of stuff on there, but there will be. We're gonna content coming soon. But for the most part, I just like watch other people's. And there was like a time where like so many videos, I think everyone was really getting into the groove of it during quarantine. And like everyone's video was like, yeah, I'm getting way too comfortable on this app. I'm getting too comfortable on this app, and like just like exposing themselves. And in a way that was really good, because I think that people relate to that kind of content a lot more than they do to the perfect aesthetic that is Instagram.
Uh-huh.
So I would be sad to see that go. It's a form of media that we haven't really seen before. Even Vine was a little bit different. That was all about like the quick humor as fast as possible. And like I think that TikTok has a level of authenticity that we haven't really seen on any other social media. That
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
I agree.
my mom definitely agrees with you.
I agree.
Yeah.
It really gives people an opportunity to be creative in ways that they don't have. Like, I mean, you could do YouTube videos that are kind of similar, but it's even a different platform because it's long form. Like, there's just not a place for that short form, expressive, creative in different ways. There's there's nothing else really like it. So I don't think banning it will work. I think that something else will pop up and take its place.
Yeah.
Um, which might be for the better. Might whatever comes up might be more secure. But I hope that the style of TikTok videos, the heart of it never goes away.
Yeah, and also I just want to say I think that one of the best things about TikTok is there's very little pressure to create.
Mm.
Like, if you do create on TikTok, that's phenomenal, but it's not like YouTube, where if you are not posting every single week, X amount of times with X amount of content, then you're not even on the radar.
Right. And
Or
there's
it's
diversity in like the way that you can create. Like you can take the time to do an elaborately lit, staged, edited video one day, and the next video is just you, no makeup, one handheld camera, just talking straight to the people. And like it's not weird to be like, oh, that's not on brand. There's no like brands really
Yeah.
with TikTok, which I like, because people aren't just one color. People
Mhm.
are like within themselves are very diverse. Like some
Yeah.
days not about the full glam looks, and some days you need to just lay it all out there. But then other days you do want to get dressed up and show off who you are and your creativity. So I like that.
Yeah, I think that TikTok has definitely changed the way that I think it's changed the way people look at social media as a whole, and I think generally for the better.
I would agree. I totally agree. We do stand TikTok, Haley. We do.
Yeah. We totally do. Okay, so kind of on the spirit of TikTok, since Haley's active in the comments, Haley also asked this question: what is your favorite viral video of all time? Extra points if you can imitate it.
An avocado. Thanks.
Okay.
I don't know if that's my favorite of all time, but I say it a lot.
So I can't stand up right now, partly because I'm connected with headphones that are really short, and partly because I'm only wearing like gym shorts with a full suit coat and everything on. But my favorite is the girl standing in the mirror, and she's just like, "Oh yeah, guys, I got this new dress. I got this new dress. I really like it." And then she goes, "Psych! It was pants. You were fooled."
That's funny. I know Haley really likes one that's like similar to that, where it's like, it's a pantsuit, but she's like out in the woods.
Uh-huh. Very nice. Very nice. We love it. Amara, I honestly lost the list of questions you sent me. So do you have another question for me?
Okay, the last one, it can be quick. With quarantine, things are slowly starting to get back to normal. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on UGA opening in person? I think that's still their plan. Football is business as usual, but also we've seen, I think it's the Big Ten, Pac-12, they're not doing football. So how do we feel about the SEC deciding to do football? I know that Georgia kind of feels like it's been a guinea pig for a lot of the corona things, and feel like the rest of the country is kind of looking at us like we're crazy for how we're handling things. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah.
You're a football fan. You're a football star, a celebrity. on the Jumbotron. So are you excited to be out there, or are you nervous? Will you be out there?
Well, here's the thing. If they open up, if they open Sanford 100% and they let every single person back in those stands, I do not feel comfortable going into that situation
Yeah,
because I love football as much as anyone else.
yeah,
Like I adore football. I love getting up on the big screen. I love dancing, but there's comes a point where you've got to be an adult and say, no, I can't do that.
mm-hmm.
As far as with the way UGA is handling everything, I think clearly, you know, they are doing what they think is
Right.
best, and I
It's
can
really
respect
hard
that.
to criticize.
Yeah,
I've been working in the school systems too, and like it's hard to they're difficult decisions, and like no decision is a perfect decision because regardless of what choice you make, it affects people different ways. So it's I don't envy them. I don't envy them.
yeah, no, it is not a job which I envy. Um, but we're gonna start back on classes on Thursday. I think is the right day. Um,
Good luck.
but yeah, but but yeah, I think if I just had one thing to say, Dog Nation out there, if you're watching this, wear a mask, stay
Uh,
6 feet apart, because I do want football. I really do want football to happen,
yeah,
and it can't happen if we don't take it seriously.
yeah,
There's a slim window that we're in right now. There's a very slim window where we could either make it happen or it could not happen. Take it seriously, wear a mask, and you know, do what is necessary, and we will get through it. We will have normalcy, and things should go back to normal. Because right now, I'm going to go on and tell you, I do not see us packing 90,000 people in Sanford Stadium, not by a long shot.
oof, that's scary. It's
Yeah.
a
Um,
scary thought. It's a scary thought for sure.
yeah. Yeah. It definitely is. But, you know, folks, we got to take it seriously. We got to
Yeah,
get through it.
yeah.
Because, I mean, I want football back. I want theater back.
I want theater back so bad.
Yeah. Amar and I both have shows that we desperately want to do.
I like really, and it was supposed to be this summer, and we inched it back to this fall, and it's not looking good for fall. So we're inching it back again, and I hate doing that, but safety primary concern. So we're holding off as long as we can, and um we want everyone to be safe, but we like I said when we were talking about theater before, like artists, we have like a responsibility to create. It's not even a responsibility, it's like a compulsion. Like
Hmm.
if you're an artist, like you can't not do that. Like I've been writing a lot in this time just because what else are we doing if we're not telling our stories or putting pen to paper and trying to make something happen? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I mean, yeah. We gotta get through it. Okay. I just have one last question for you. From mutual friend of ours.
What?
Yeah, I know, right? Crazy, right? But I think this is a really good question to end on, and I'll add on to it at the end. So Amara, clearly, you are someone who's very tied in with the deaf community. You really do try. You and Haley and Hansen, y'all really do try to kind of introduce hearing people into the deaf community. So Rachel asked, "What is the biggest challenge that you've overcome working with ASL or the deaf community?" And I'm going to kind of add on to that. What do you think is the biggest thing that people should know or should experience about the deaf community that they may not actually have experienced yet?
Yeah, I love that. That's a good question. Um, I think a few years ago I might have answered this question differently. I might have said something like learning the language was kind of difficult because I never took formal classes. But I think honestly, the biggest thing for me to overcome working with the deaf community is my own ego as a
Hmm.
hearing person. It's when you're practicing any form of allyship, it's very important to not take up the space of the person that you're supporting. So that's been hard for me because I want to jump in, I want to do everything. I love the community so much, but like it's hard to balance loving the community and wanting to increase representation in the community versus like speaking for them. And so that's like a line that we toe, especially with everything we do in Hands In. We don't want to take up space. So we always want to like bring in deaf creators, bring in deaf actors and like work with them, not just take up space that they could be having. So
Mhm.
it's about partnership, it's about representation, like accurate representation. And I like, we've wanted to do shows that are we've been like looking for deaf writers because we don't want to tell a story that's not our story to tell.
Mhm.
So if you're out there and you know a deaf writer who's got a story, let me know because we'd love to tell your story and stage your show if we can. But yeah, so um, I think the thing that I would want hearing people to know is like, one, Google is free. And there are so many resources out there to learn sign language, and it literally just benefits your life. There is not a negative to knowing sign language. It's easy, it increases access, it makes the world more deaf friendly, and any deaf person that you meet will appreciate you learning three signs. Like just anything to show, like, I'm trying to communicate with you in the best way that I know how. It's the equivalent of like having a ramp. If you have a friend who's in a wheelchair and you're like, let me have a ramp at my house so that my friend can come visit me. Like, let me make sure that I live somewhere accessible. It's the equivalent of that. It's like showing
Yeah.
that you care about them enough to like give them access to you, to your world. So
Yeah.
that's what I think I would like hearing people to know. And I mean, I feel like we have good resources at Hands In. If you are interested in the community, you want to jump in, check us out on all of our social media. We are at Hands In Presents, shameless plug, handsinpresents.org. Check us out. And we would love to, help hearing people get started if they're interested in the community. And if you're deaf and you've been looking for a way to do art and there's not that space for you in normal, regular, whatever you want to call it, theater, like we want to make that space.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a phenomenal answer. Yeah, I everything she said and then some. The deaf community, deaf culture is an amazing
They're
thing
wonderful. They're
to
wonderful.
witness people.
Deaf people are diverse. Like I think
Yes.
we have like a vision of like what deaf people are, and they're always portrayed in like singularly in media. And so that's one thing that we not all deaf people are the same. Not all deaf people use sign language. Like
Yeah.
it's different for everyone. We obviously we promote bilingualism. We think that that's great, but that's not everyone's story, and we want to be able to tell everyone's story no matter what it is.
Yeah. I yeah. If you can get involved with the deaf community because they're an incredible
They're great.
group of
They're great.
people. Um, but yeah, and Rachel, great question. I think that's a great question to kind of close us out with. But yeah, Amara, thank you so much. Did you have a good time?
I did. This was a lot of fun.
Well,
This was
good
fun.
deal.
Everyone who's watching, follow me on Instagram at Amara Edit. Just my name, first and last.
Yeah, it's up in the top right hand corner. So I mean, not your Instagram handle, but like that's her name, and
Yeah, just
it's
put an at before it, get rid of the space, and it's my handle.
yeah, that's it. That's it. But yeah, Amara, thank you so much. Guys, if you haven't already, go check out Hands In.
Definitely.
They're a phenomenal group. They're doing some awesome stuff. And yeah, thank y'all so much for tonight. Again, with some Tea with Doug G stuff. We'll be back next week. I'm gonna have another incredible guest, Miss Deja M. Rice. We're gonna have an awesome conversation. I already know it. But yeah. Keep a lookout on Vita Media's page because we will be dropping the merch links pretty soon. That's easily the most Gen Z thing I've ever said in my entire life. But yeah, guys, thank y'all so much.
Chris, I'm trying to be famous, so follow me.
But yeah, thank y'all so much, and I will see y'all next week. My name is Doug Gooden, and this has been The Tea.
I dropped my mug. Oh, but can I show it? Can I show it? I
Show
made
your
it.
mug.
I made it.
I didn't know you made that.
Yes, that's my potter's mark right there.
That's awesome.
Yes, pottery, a hobby of mine.
Yes. But yeah, thank you guys. Y'all have a good week, and I will see y'all next week.